Hey guys, welcome back to Lodi Rampage. Today we are here with Mr. Skibitsky. He is the advisor of the Green Tech Club, and we're going to ask him a few questions about his competition at NJIT.
All right, so Green Tech Team is a group of young individuals who come together to design and build and test a robot. This is not from a kit, this is not from predefined parts. This is, we can design any kind of structure we want to achieve a particular goal. And then the rest of the year we do other little side projects with engineering, a little bit of soldering, some computer programming, you know, whatever kind of ideas come to mind. Last year we built a video game table, which is hidden in my office so that nobody can play Mario with me. And then we also were working on a small soda dispenser for ourselves. So
Wow,
fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it. Over. We finished our competition this past month, just in January, a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
So
that's good.
we went to preliminaries and we did our thing, and now the season for us for that part, at least the competition's over. The competition for other schools is continuing, but no, we got knocked out. That's why it's over. The competition's over because we competed, we did the best we could. We had some struggles with the robot itself and with designing. I mean, we custom fit, we custom made everything ourselves. So no shame. Just there were schools that had much more advanced technology to work with than we did. If we continued, the season would go until the end or the middle of April, when they have finals. This competition is financially, it's actually pretty big. The school, for us, we spend very little to get into it, but the prizes are rather large. The first place team, the 3 students, was the 3-student team. Green Tech has more people in it, but the 3 official members are usually our oldest members, are people, you know, like last year we had the same 3 people. Are eligible for $4,000 apiece, plus other prizes, most unique design, or best newcomer, or, you know, fastest retrieval, or, you know, depending on the challenge. You know, there are prizes anywhere from $1,000 a student to $4,000 a student. So, you know, we spend a lot of time trying to make it work.
Yeah. So a lot of the kids get stuff out of this club too, right?
Oh yeah, well, we have a ton of experiences, and you can talk to any of the members. You know, we come in and we design, we sit there and we literally log everything we do, and we design from nothing. We cut everything by hand from cardboard and you know, super glue and sew models. Like we do like school project level kind of robotics for now. So we built a heart transplant robot. So the robot was tasked with performing multiple motions. So now you have to deal with torque and angles and weight distribution and, you know, electricity. So we had to build a robot that would open up an artificial chest, remove an artificial rib cage, remove a bad heart, replace that heart with a good heart, and then close everything back up. So you had a whole bunch of different motions and a whole bunch of different requirements just to get through preliminaries. And our robot was functioning, but it didn't function as well as other teams, which is why we're not moving forward this year. But, you know, there's always next year. So
Yeah.
we did at the Student Center at NJIT's main campus in downtown Newark. So
That was the first
that was,
competition?
yeah. Other than that, it's mostly home based. We stay here for most of the time. We meet a couple of times a week, and we plan our robot out. We discuss, you know, designs, and we kind of go through who's got what kind of ideas, and we pick the most plausible or the most reasonable idea given the equipment that we have, and we move forward with that. And we test it, and we go back to the drawing board, and then we test it again, we go back to the drawing board again, and inevitably something breaks the day of, and we have to fix it at NJIT.
Yeah. So it's a lot of going back and forth.
It's engineering. That's the whole idea, is to promote this idea that you can take an idea, you can take a plan or a problem, like how do we replace somebody's heart without a doctor being in the room, and create a structure, create something that's functional that will actually do that, even though you're controlling it from, you know, 3 or 4 feet away. You're not actually physically in there opening somebody's chest. The robot is doing this. So we designed We sat there and we discussed what kind of motions, what kind of products do we need, what kind of materials, a budget, a size, measurements was a big part of it. And then you prototype it, and then you build a small version of it, a scaled version hopefully, and see, well, do these motions actually work the way we think they're going to? And if they do, then you move forward to a full-scale design. And if it doesn't, then you go back to the drawing board. It's like scientific method, but it's much more involved.
Yeah.
A lot, and there are things that require tools we don't have here on campus, so I actually will spend more time at home doing this than just the students, but
Yeah.
3 hours a day, a couple days a week at minimum. And then when we get closer to the competition, we'll be here till 6 or 7, or this year 8 o'clock. I left the day before the competition. I left here at 20 after 8. I was here straight through working on the robot.
Wow.
Trying to get it to finish. We had to finish it.
Yeah.
You have a very short time frame to get this done. And when you have so many ideas and so many people bouncing around different ideas, it takes a while to settle out on what's a good one, what's a bad one, and what's feasible based on the materials that you have and what you're allowed. Because they give you a list of things you're not allowed to use. So our initial design, we were thinking of using syringes to act as a hydraulic mechanism. As we were going through the logbook and going through the rules and everything, it turned out that we weren't allowed to use syringes. Even though the guidebook, the rules stated you couldn't physically move the robot and you couldn't use a syringe to do that, we had planned something very different. They still told us it was a no-go. So we had to redesign an entire structure of the robot. Then we get to NJIT and we realized that there was a problem with one of the motors, so we had to take apart the entire rear assembly, we had to take apart the entire transmission and lift it up and move it. So we had to do that in an hour on a robot that we had been working on since December, designing and cutting and measuring and planning and trial and error. Day of, we still had to make changes. Absolutely. Every year, so between last year and this year, we have learned different things. Last year's robot, there were major issues just in the design itself. This year, the design was good, but we had some transportation issues. We had some, general motion issues that were due to added friction or a misplaced hot glue. That's a long story in and of itself. But we learn everything. This year, we was much better than last year. Next year will be even better than this year, and eventually, I'm looking to crush all their faces. I don't care what grade you're in, I don't care what level you are, if you're interested in robots, if you're interested in design, if you're interested in engineering as a major, if it's something that you're like, well, that sounds cool, come check it out. There are a couple of projects I want to do over the next couple of years. I found instructions to build a phone charger out of an old used piece of a car motor. So I want to go to a junkyard and see if I can find what's called an alternator and a fan belt and see if we can't make an actual phone charger that we can put outside and have actually work. That'd be kind of neat.
Wow. Planning big things.
Always.
That's
Go big or go home.
That's good. Well, thank you for this interview. We
Thanks
are
for asking good questions.
done.